So, folks, thank you for all for joining. Today, I have my dear friend Amitabh, actually, who is the co-founder of a lot of companies. I think the last two I remember are Wranga and Social Media Matters, right? Those are the two current ones you are working. Okay, that's right. So, okay. So that is the uh, gist about him. But in general, he's been working, in terms of technology, using technology for social change and social impact, I should say, right? Yeah, that's what his journey has been last, I mean, since forever I have known him. And for that matter, I think we met 10 years ago for the first time, I
Yeah,
think, about
about that.
that. Yeah.
Youth collective
Youth
in
collective, right?
near
And I think
Nehru
we were
Place.
doing the Holi ka campaign or something, we were planning
Hey,
to.
Holi, that video is still quite viral
Oh, is
and
it?
has a lot of views. Yeah, I'll find it and share it in the chat so that
Acha.
people know
Please.
where our first conversation happened.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So and since then, I think we've connected, we've stayed connected, but we haven't met really, I think, after that campaign. You know? Yeah, yeah. That's very interesting. So I mean, despite not being, physically met in 10 years, I think we still stay friends. And जब भी बात होती है, तो it's not like यार, ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि we are playing catch up or something. We just go on from wherever we were talking last time. So it's been a really, good relationship with Ami, and I always, look up to him with the kinds of things he's been doing, and trying to get impact basically from whatever he's trying to do. So thanks, Ami, thanks so much. You agreed to join and come and share your journey with us. So I don't want to, get into it much. I just want you to take over. Why don't you just start from, maybe how you ended up becoming who you are right now. I mean, done you've been a Delhiite forever, then you went to Germany, you studied there, and then here you are, doing the kinds of things that not many people think they can do. So why don't you just share, from about your journey first?
Yeah. I'll just start with a little bit of distraction. I'm just sharing the same Holi video. That is where Abhinav and I met for the first time. And whenever you guys have time to click on it, that was one of our first collaborations of activism. So I'll start from the beginning, and I think having the why very clear in your mind makes you do things with a lot of passion and a lot of confidence. And I was born in a family of activists, but as it happens with young people, tried to do something completely different, which was technology. So I studied, I took up science in class 10th and did prepared for IIT and eventually cracked it as well, but ended up going to Germany because I wasn't really a studious person, and I was studying microsystem techniques there. And I think it was on day two that the craziest revelation of my life was told to me. So, a very simple story. It was in the kitchen. I still remember breakfast time, and one of my roommates, a really close friend of mine, Sarah, she was trying to get something from a higher cupboard, and I'm a pretty tall guy, so I just tried to help her. And just the way she reacted, she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Why? I'm the guy. I'm strong. I'm tall. That's why." But I didn't say all of that. That was the Delhi in me in my mind. But she was like, "Hey, if I ask for help, help me. Otherwise, I'm self-sufficient." And kind of a button, a trigger, whatever, a gene code changed in me, saying that, oh, girls are actually just as cool as boys. I know it's so simple, but it took me 17 years on this planet to realize that. And it was an amazing friend of mine who made me realize it in a very calm way. It wasn't the activist Nari Shakti, Morcha. There was nothing like that. There was no Amitabh Bachchan in the movie. There was no great sound. It was just like a simple why. And she said, I'm okay, I'll take care of it. And from there on, the journey begins. And I stayed in Germany for 7 years. And I lived with the same five girls for 7 years. And we became great friends. And over those 7 years, I think they broke and smashed my toxic masculinity of Delhi quite clearly in a very humble and a very nice manner. And I'm saying this with all honesty, although I come from a family of activists, my father, my mother, my aunt are known in this field. If you drop their name in any conference, people know them. They are like known activists. So even coming from this household, it doesn't make any difference. I was equally toxic masculine as Mr. Yo-Yo Honey Singh or somebody like that. So it began there. It began there, and once the problem with the knowledge information is that once it gets into your mind, you start seeing it everywhere. So equality, that lens of equality came into me, and then I could see it everywhere. And if you come back to Delhi, then you see it. Oh my God! So my Decembers when I used to come back, every year from Germany for some time, I used to see this inequality between men and women quite clearly. And since you guys are in the NCR region, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Things might have gotten a little better now. People are a little more diplomatic. There is Me Too, there is equality. People at least talk about it. But back, and I'm talking pre-Nirbhaya and all, when after 7 o'clock girls could not go out. There was no Gurgaon and Cyber City back then. Gurgaon was the shadiest place. We were scared to go there as men as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where it all began. And when I came back, one of these NGOs which my parents and family had established, they needed a website to be made, and this is year 2006-7. And back in the day, coders used to earn a lot of money for making websites. I think you used to get 5-6 lakh rupees or something like that. So that was a good gig for me. I knew a little bit of coding because I studied microsystem techniques, so I can write basic code to kind of program a hardware. And I took up that gig. I was supposed to go back and finish my PhD and do all that, but it never happened because I really enjoyed the field. I enjoyed the work I was doing. And the why became very clear. And I'm constantly talking about the why because when I was working in Germany, I did lots of jobs. I worked for some of the big companies as well. Intel was just coming out with their new line of processors, and I was the part of that marketing team which released it in Germany. But I never understood what I was doing. I was doing something. I was creating a PPT. I was creating an Excel. But if you ask me, even after a month, I really don't know what I did. But here, working for a NGO, doing one workshop, I knew exactly what I did. So that was kind of the defining moment for me in my career, in my journey, to start off with activism. And I think what was great is when you have a foreign training and you kind of know how Europe and America works, you can impress Indians quite easily. So every time I used to get into trouble, I just used to drop an accent. So
yeah, that is right.
So, for example, what I studied was hardware manufacture and sales. That is what I studied. So, if a boring uncle or auntie would ever ask me, "तो अपनी जिंदगी के साथ क्या कर रहा है?" So I would say, "Oh, I studied microsystem technique in Germany." Now, the second you go with that, everything becomes easy. And the same thing I used to use quite blatantly in police stations, at Jantar Mantar, in court. So it was a good mix of coming from this area, but also having that training. And I think that was my USP in the civil society. That I was not the typical JNU Gandhian sort of activist. I was a very hip hop, modern kind of an activist because I was used to that culture. So that people found, or people still even, just 2 days back on the call said, "Arey, you are 38. You sound so much like a child." But I think it kind of works. I'm still on a panel 2 days from now on a youth panel. I don't know why, but I think it's the hair and whatever. People put you in boxes. So yeah, it was a great start of my journey into activism. And like everything, it's like fish to the water. Once you figure out this is my tribe, this is what I want to do in life, it is very difficult to pull you out of it. It's like that song. You suddenly hear it while commuting, and then you find it on Spotify and YouTube, and you play it all day, all night.
Right. Yeah.
It is my video editor is sitting behind. You can't see him. There's this one particular tune. I really want him to fix that because I love it. And it was just that for me. Like activism was that for me because the why was clear. it was impactful, and I was good at it. So I think these three things, the combination of these three things is very important. If you're not good at something, I think you leave it after a while. Or at least in my case, it's like that. I shy away from it. Yeah,
And
so those.
and in the process, you figured out a way to get paid for it, so it became your ikigai, so to say.
Yeah, I think basically what the skills that I learned in Germany, one of the most important skills there, as I told you, I learned hardware manufacture and sales. And I think a lot of you are also doing marketing and sales, and you know communication. You guys are experts at it. But if you're able to express your thought clearly to somebody who's not from your field, who's not from your subject area, that is a very powerful skill. And it's the same in activism, like it is in fundraising, like it is in marketing. You have to simplify the idea to the lowest common denominator, and you need to put it across. So slowly and steadily, I shifted towards fundraising. I think simply because we got one big fund from the German embassy, and I spoke German, so it was kind of a connect. But I kind of realized that funders are not such bad people, and they just want to do genuine work. And if you express what you want to do, then things work out. I think people create a lot of, they create this ambience that fundraising is done in such a manner, but actually it's quite simple. And this was non-profit fundraising, but right now I'm working for two startups. So I have two startups, and I've gone the whole, the valuation startup bootstrap way. And fundraising is fundraising. It's not much difficult. I mean, it's pretty simple. So yeah, I figured that out, and I also realized that every cause has a cost. So idealism will not pay off if you are hungry. Idealism will not pay off if you don't have a house. People don't respect you if you are constantly borrowing money from them.
Right.
So I don't go the sympathy route of raising money. I never do that. I've never done it. I go more for the arrogant way of raising money, which is like you help because it's right. You help because it will create impact. You help because you want to help. So I always go that way.
And has it ever backfired?
Many times. Many times. You get knocked out. This is like, I don't know who told me this, but it's like you're in a boxing ring. You're saying you're getting punches. You are asking patriarchy to go away, which has been there for 5,000 years. It will slap you back. It will hit you back. You get abused. Back in the day, and this is also really cool. I remember, before 16th of December, that infamous rape case. Just 2 months before that, in a very important meeting of stakeholders, I was told that gender is dead. You should change your field. We will not pay you money, by one of the biggest funders which is there in human rights. And and people used to make fun of us in bars, in cafes. And there are lots of these. Toxic masculine men are against everything which is not super masculine. So even long hair is a problem, or smiling a lot is a problem. You have to be really like barking and growling all the time. So हम जैसे लड़के जो कि थोड़े शायद ज्यादा सेंसिटिव है या थोड़ा प्यार से कभी कभी बोल लेते हैं, हमें बहुत पसंद नहीं किया जाता था. तो बट जैसे ही ट्रेंड बदलता है ना, जैसे ही 16th of December हुआ, उस दिन सबसे ज्यादा कॉल्स और सबसे ज्यादा मैसेजेस उन्हीं लड़कों के आए जो कि अपनी टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी से परेशान थे. पीपल जो गलत है वो गलत है. अब इवन इफ यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ इट, इट डज नॉट मैटर, बट यू वांट टू स्विच साइड. And those were the loudest voices. They donated a lot. They helped a lot. So you win in the longer run, but in the smaller run, you will always lose. Right? I gave you that example, and I'll repeat it over here in one of these big tech companies. It is getting recorded, so I will not drop any names. So I serve on the safety advisory board of all these big companies which you have on your phone, which are called social media platforms. And in one of these meetings, I was there in a country far, far away. And before the meeting started, or I was given to present, I just told the boss there that you do realize that the women's toilet is about half a kilometer away. It's a very big office. They have a beautiful office. Their muffins are more than my salary. That is how good that office is. But the person who created it for coders. And coders back in the day in Silicon Valley were primarily men. Now it is changing. But the girls' washroom was literally like 500 meters away. So imagine the the time spent, the planning required that I have to go to the washroom. And the girls in the meeting, and there were just like 3, 4 women and about, I think, same amount of men. They were all like, yes, that is a far more important topic than what we were planning to discuss. So you win in the long run. You do get fans. People clap a lot when you say I'm a feminist. But at the same time, you know Delhi boys. मिलने का क्या मतलब होता है? बैठने का क्या मतलब होता है? You sit and
Right.
you drink.
Yeah.
You sit and you drink, and you don't really socialize like normal people. You are very guerrilla about it. So it did backfire. It totally backfired.
Yeah. Wow. So in between all this sharing, I heard you say that, if you drop your mom's or dad's name anywhere, everybody, in the activism circle know it. So again, has that been a problem for you, because everybody then expects Sachin's son to be like Sachin, right? So
Yeah, but nepotism works. I mean, it works everywhere. यहाँ पे भी काम करता है. I mean, it is as simple as that. My father was a big student leader during the emergency against Indira Gandhi. जो पहली थी, अब हम दूसरी में है, तो पहली वाली में थे. So all the leaders right now, जितने leaders हैं ना अभी के सिवाय the 2 Gujarati boys, he actually grew up with these people. They were actually student leaders at that time. So even in Congress side as well as BJP side, तभी मतलब कांग्रेस ही एक पार्टी हुआ करती थी, बाकी सब कुछ तो डाइल्यूटेड था. फायदा क्या होता है कि you can walk into a minister's room, touch his feet, he'll ask you, अरे आप कौन? अच्छा उनके बेटे हैं. So it actually works. Secondly, more than nepotism, what happens in JNU is where my father was a professor. Most of the students, at least 50%, become IAS officers. तो फील्ड में क्या होता है कि पुलिस कमिश्नर जो है ना वो जेएनयू का ही है. वो किसी ना किसी का बैचमेट है. तो इट हेल्प्स, इट इज कॉल्ड नेपोटिज्म, इट इज कॉल्ड नेटवर्किंग, जो भी आप कहना चाहते हो. इट हेल्प्ड अ लॉट. ऑन द अदर साइड, my father is a great public speaker, far better than what I will ever be, and my mother is a very learned person. She writes really really well. और मेरी दोनों चीजें उनसे कंपेरेबल नहीं है. तो कोई मुझसे अगर कहता था तो पहली हार मान जाता. मैं कहा नहीं, वैसा कोई नहीं बोल सकता, तो मैं कैसे बोल सकता हूँ. So that was all right. But the good part is people accept you, right? So if you're coming from a business family, people accept you to be a good businessman. तो हमें थोड़ा 50% ऑफ लेवरेज मिल गया कि ये उस खानदान से आता है तो उतना बुरा एक्टिविस्ट नहीं होगा, मतलब तो कुछ तो आता होगा. तो it was very helpful. It was actually Delhi is all about this stuff. Who do you know? अब यहाँ गोवा में things are different. यहाँ पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, किसी को पता ही नहीं हम कौन है, तो things are very different.
Okay, nice. So then how did you go about from there, from this person, JNU parents ka son, from to building this team to be able to do all of this, whatever you've done in the last, at least a decade, if I were to say?
Yeah, I think activism with a corporate mindset or corporate with an activist mindset is the best mixture you can have. क्योंकि resources की mapping जैसा corporate sector करता है, activist नहीं कर पाता. और activist का जो passion होता है, जो drive होती है, the ability to work 24 hours, 7 days a week, वो corporate में आ नहीं पाती क्योंकि आप एक नौकरी कर रहे होते हो. So I came from a mixed training, and what I applied in the field was everything I had learned in Germany in those presentations, in those conference rooms. So I had a very structural approach towards work from day one. I always approached it from the perspective of sustainability and putting together communication and building a team. तो आपने जो बात कही ना कि आप अपनी पूरी टीम के साथ आ गए, वो पिछले 5 साल से हम साथ में ही खाते थे, साथ में ही उठते थे, बैठते थे, ट्रैवल करते थे, तो एवरीथिंग वाज टुगेदर. So the team and me and the work, it is all correlated. And I think applying all the theories of team building, I spend a lot of time even today on team building. I read about 2 hours about the new strategies of team building, of putting an organization together, of getting most out of people in a happy manner, and like most of my reading is about that. अभी भी मैं कुछ देख रहा था, तो ये एक किताब अभी मुझको दिखी, स्टार्ट विद व्हाई, पता नहीं दिख रहा है आप लोगों को. तो ये and having it for the long haul, कि it's a relay, it's not a sprint. ये मैराथन है, ये भागना है, 70 साल तक काम करना है. ओके फाइन, अब इसको धीरे 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 करके आगे लेकर के चलेंगे. और फिर वही होता है कि when you start doing well, when you start succeeding, a lot of success starts following you as well. एक
Yeah.
प्रोजेक्ट मिलता है 10 लाख रुपए का, फिर वो किस दिन 1 करोड़ का हो गया पता नहीं चला, फिर वो किस दिन 10 करोड़ का हो गया वो भी नहीं पता चला, क्योंकि हम तो काम कर रहे थे. And the focus was always on the work, and success or money or resources was a byproduct. And always kept a very, very, very genuine and open door policy with all my funders as well as with my team members. So उससे क्या फायदा हुआ कि सबको पता था कि प्रोजेक्ट कहाँ जा रहा है. It's not like it's a ship which is going in one direction. Be it employees, be it oh God. Achha, I also am a freak about pets, so I have 4 dogs who are very loud right now.
Oh, okay.
So हाँ.
Good to know that.
तो ये जो टीम बिल्डिंग वाला एस्पेक्ट था, हाँ लक्ष्मण प्लीज क्लोज दैट. So that became really, really important. And mapping of resources and having a strategic perspective towards every project. कि एक किस तरफ जा रहा है, what is it building to, is something that I did constantly.
Okay. So I remember you talked about building a tribe, not really a team. You call it your tribe, right? That's how you look at it.
Exactly. See, when all of you have the same aim, right? Abhi, if all of us want to go to the same destination, then the journey becomes quite easy because we are talking about the same aspect. And sadly, somehow success is only measured by salary, which I don't think so. I never approached it like that. It is more comprehensive than that. Just like work is a part of your life, salary is a part of your success. It's not all your success. So it is extremely, extremely important to know what your tribe, your team, your family, what do they want? Because the second you understand that, for example, Durga Puja is coming up and you have a Bengali, give them 15 days off now. Like अभी से ही दे दो छुट्टी, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. उनको ऑफिस बुला करके आप काम नहीं करवा सकते. Or like I have very young people working in my team who are video editors. I told them 25th of December to 5th of January, I am giving you holiday. You don't need to apply for it. Because they will not work. यार वो गोवा में वो पार्टी करेंगे, वो क्यों काम करेंगे? और उनको करना भी नहीं चाहिए because and similarly जब salary बढ़ाते हैं, I find it's like you should constantly make sure that they have earned it and they should know it. You are not doing them a favor.
Yes.
So, जितने रूल्स मुझ पे अप्लाई करते थे वही सबके लिए अप्लाई करते हैं. And that is how I built my team, and it started from the driver all the way to the director. Sometimes people don't like it because we do have a lot of classism बड़ा important होता है. Like CEOs earn what 730% more than the lowest employee of their companies if you look into these big tech companies or if you look into the bigger ones.
Yeah.
मतलब मार्क ज़करबर्ग की सैलरी और उसके सिक्योरिटी गार्ड की सैलरी में शायद उतना फर्क होगा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
Easily.
लेकिन उनकी सोच और उनकी लाइफ की जो चॉइसेस हैं और उनकी जो चाहते हैं वो काफी सिमिलर है.
Right.
So that's the aspect about building a tribe, that you all move together for the same aim, and it is similar if you are able to communicate that aim to each other. And even right now, startup में जैसा होता है, because that NGO team kind of shifted into the digital parenting startup, things are very different here. Because here, if you succeed, your salary is not going up 1%. Your valuation is going up 1000%. मतलब हमें तो पता भी नहीं था कि ऐसा होता है जिंदगी में.
अच्छा.
So it is very, very important with the salary to constantly motivate people, and the way to do that is to constantly communicate with them, spend time with them, and actually want it from your heart. I think as a leader, it is very important to have that clear in your head कि आप क्या करना चाहते हैं.
Yeah, as from how I see it, as a leader, क्या मतलब even as as small as if you're leading a 5-people team within a large organization, it means the same thing, right? How how you are valuing them, how you are working with them is what's going to matter at the end of the day, right?
Bilkul. And also I think it gives back if you are honest, straightforward, and just sympathetic and empathetic towards people. वो बहुत बार सिखाया नहीं जाता है. That was the good part about activism, क्योंकि activism में बिना empathy के कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. आप कुछ कितना भी पैसा लेकर के आ जाओ, एक पंचायत में बैठने के लिए गांव वालों को हाँ बोलना पड़ेगा, एक पुलिस स्टेशन में एक रिपोर्ट लिखवाने के लिए कांस्टेबल को हाँ बोलना पड़ेगा, एक कोर्ट में अंदर जाने के लिए पियून को हाँ बोलना पड़ेगा। हिंदुस्तान खाली नेटवर्क पे काम करता है उस जगह पर, लाइक इन कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर यू कैन थ्रो मनी एंड थिंग्स हैपन, एंड इफ यू बिल्ड दैट नेटवर्क केयरिंग अबाउट पीपल, विच आई नो इट साउंड्स वेरी, अरे यार सभी लोग आजकल बोलते हैं, लेकिन उसका वैल्यू बहुत ज्यादा है। अगर सामने वाले को समझ में आ गया कि दिस पर्सन केयर्स अबाउट मी, इवन इन बिजनेस और इन एक्टिविज्म, the returns are 10 to 20,000%. Like that is my experience over the last 15 years that I've worked in India.
Wow. Wow. I just hope this is all getting out in the world. I mean, we'll put this recording out, but I hope more people are talking about this aspect of, you know, work, which generally people are not talking about. I feel the empathy.
Yeah, and also looking at work in a different way. I think that's a good focus to have, especially, you know, you guys are a hotshot team working in important projects. बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है that you look at success in more manners than just your salary. You know, if you mess up your health or your mental health or your personal relationships, even a crore a day is not going to bring that back. It doesn't happen. People are talking about it. Google is talking about it. Microsoft is talking about it. But even at this level, at a certain age, there are a few activities which can be enjoyed. Your parents will not come back after a certain period of time. There is only that limited time when Rakhi happens, when Diwali happens. So respect time, just like we respect deadlines. Even outside, there are deadlines in life, and they are very, very important. And लगता है पहले लगता है कि अरे नहीं मुझे काम करना है, करियर पे फोकस, लेकिन करियर पे आप फोकस कर ही नहीं सकते अगर आपकी मेंटल हेल्थ, फिजिकल हेल्थ, रिलेशनशिप्स मेस्ड अप है, हो ही नहीं सकता. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. The best in the world tell you that, every guru will tell you something similar, every health person will tell you, but the people making maximum money will tell you that okay, they balance their life up. So you know, balancing success is a very, very important aspect which I think we spend a lot of time on, and definitely anybody I talk to, any CEO I talk to, I definitely raise that point of balancing things out.
I mean, especially at a younger age, I think when we are in our 20s, we just think कि अभी career बना लेते हैं, rest we will take care of later, right? I think that's probably a lot of us do or have done.
हाँ, डेफिनेटली आपको एग्जाम के वक्त पढ़ना ज्यादा जरूरी है. आप क्रिकेट नहीं खेलते थे, सिंपल सी बात है, वो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, लेकिन साल में 12 महीने होते हैं और आप हर दिन तो एग्जाम नहीं दोगे ना. तो रिमेंबर दैट कि इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि हर दिन 100 चीजें होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ओवर 365 डेज आई एम श्योर यू कैन डेडिकेट 10 डेज टू अ हॉलिडे, फ्री टाइम, 10 days to your parents, 10 days to your family, to your partner, to this. So out of 365 days, if 60 days are given to just you and your family, it's not a bad thing.
Yep, absolutely. I think वही है, हम प्लान नहीं करते और हम सोचते हैं हाँ करेंगे and a lot of us end up अरे यार अब अगले साल करेंगे.
Exactly, and the other thing I think which was very important, which I learned earlier in Germany, is to keep ideas alive. So Goa का जो idea था, it is so funny. We were traveling through Goa, going for a workshop. हम लोग workshops करते थे 2016 में online safety पे. We used to travel in the car. And while driving, my co-founder, now of Social Media Matters, Vikram, I told him quite clearly while crossing Goa, that is my house, this is your house in 5 years. ऐसे ही बोल दिया था. लेकिन यहाँ पर अगर आइडिया जिंदा है ना, तो सबकॉन्शियसली सब कुछ उस तरफ चलने लगता है. इट स्लोली स्टार्ट मूविंग. इट इज माइंड ओवर बॉडी इन सो मेनी वेज दैट आई नेवर किल एन आइडिया. आई ऑलवेज पार्क इट एंड कीप इट अलाइव समवेयर इन माय माइंड. I never kill it, no matter what people tell me कि this is stupid, this is wrong, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता. I never kill it. I always keep it कि कभी ना कभी होगा. And this is about big things in life. So I think जो भी आपकी ख्वाहिशें हैं उनको जिंदा रखना बहुत जरूरी है, वरना बहुत जल्दी you know, an expensive iPhone and an expensive car and an expensive house, that is it. उसकी EMI देते रह जाएंगे हम लोग. So keep those little you know, dreams that you have alive, which everybody calls stupid. I think I'm pretty sure जब मैंने बोला था विक्रम ने भी यही सोचा था यार ये क्या ऐसे ही बोल रहा है गाड़ी चला रहा है 10 घंटे से.
Right.
But now he's living in the same house. In fact, his room is right above me. So yeah, it works. It works sometimes.
Yeah, and I think you've been a great champion of doing small things and seeing small impact rather than just going all around ki ये big shot काम करते हैं. What?
I think जहाँ से हम लोग की बात शुरू हुई थी, when we think about social change, and I think this is for all of you. जब भी हम लोग सोशल चेंज के बारे में सोचते हैं, या तो गांधी फिल्म हमको दिख जाती है, या फिर अन्ना हजारे का मूवमेंट दिख जाता है, या डिपेंडिंग अपॉन आप कहाँ से आए और सबसे ज्यादा वो इम्प्रेसिव कौन से, नेल्सन मंडेला, मदर टेरेसा, बिग नेम. और फिर हमको लगता है यार मुझे तो नौकरी करनी है 9 to 5, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ. एंड आई थिंक एक्टिविज्म, या वो भी बहुत बड़ी चीज है. डूइंग समथिंग राइट इज अ वेरी माइक्रो थिंग. And when Abhinav and I were discussing, if you have trash and you put it in the dustbin, बहुत छोटी सी चीज है, ये बहुत ही छोटी सी चीज है. You have already made a lot of points. Did you throw your chewing gum and your cigarette butt on the road, or in the allocated place where it can be collected and cleaned? So ये कितनी छोटी सी चीज थी, but if you do it over 365 days, it adds up. So I am a big fan of doing small acts of changing life. Right? If you're dedicated towards environment, then you don't need to plant a forest, but you can take care of one tree. Or you can encourage somebody who's planting trees. बस छोटी सी उसको encourage, अरे आप बहुत अच्छा काम करते हो. Activists, just like all of us, are really hungry for recognition. कि मैंने खून दिया, I donated blood. कोई तो कह दो यार कि अच्छा काम किया मैंने. Right? And if you just donate blood once every 3 months, you are attacking 97% of India's health problem, which is lack of blood, why people die. It happened in COVID, it happened before, it happens in dengue. Our blood banks are completely out of blood. If you ever go to AIM, सबसे बड़ी problem होती है. लेकिन ये एक बहुत छोटी सी चीज है, अगर आपके दोस्त ने डाला ना तो ये मत कहना कि यार तो pretentious है. So just that micro encouragement or that micro indulgence. So for example, the corporate sector of Gurgaon, and I mean, we have a lot of women on the call as well. The rate of sexual harassment is so high that if a man is not harassing a woman, they are already winning. मतलब men का standard काफी low हो चुका है दुनिया में, मैं इंडिया की बात नहीं कर रहा. And Google and Uber are the best examples, two of the hottest companies out there. They have a very big problem of sexual harassment in their company. So it is important to whenever you want to do something right, or whenever something troubles you, जब कुछ आंख में चुभता है या आपको बुरा लगता है, उसके खिलाफ आप छोटी सी क्या चीज कर सकते हैं, या what can you do to change that situation is where you need to start. Right? I mean, बहुत ही छोटे, and the micro units count. You don't have to be Mahatma Gandhi or Mother Teresa, or go at Nelson Mandela's level. Just a very small thing counts. I mean, this Save Holi video, and I think Abhinav was there for one meeting where there were 12 people who had no clue. But because he was there, there was one extra person, and it counts. It gives everybody confidence. And if you look at this video, I'm dancing with 4 other boys or something, but it was needed. So every voice does matter. Just remember that. Like, right now we have started a campaign called We Will Vote, because 5 states are going to election next year. Right? And बहुत छोटी सी चीज है, but कितने लोगों ने आज तक वोट किया है पार्टी के मैनिफेस्टो को पढ़ के? और सही जवाब है कि 90% ने कभी पार्टी का मैनिफेस्टो देखा ही नहीं.
I think might be even higher. 90 से भी ज्यादा होगा that number maybe. Yeah.
हाँ, I mean, I grew up in JNU, तो वहाँ पे सब लोग रैंक करते थे, तो वहाँ पे 10% पढ़ लेते थे.
Okay.
लेकिन जब पार्टी का आप मैनिफेस्टो ही नहीं पढ़ते, तो आप वोट किस बात पे देते हो? मतलब आप देते हो, सब लोग देते हैं वोट, लेकिन किस बात पे देते हैं? तो छोटी सी चीज है. Similarly, about any cause that you would like to think, I was breaking it down for Abhinav that it costs 15,000 rupees for a child to go to school, right? Education तो free कर दी है सरकार ने, लेकिन notebook, pen, dress का इतना पैसा लगता है. Now, paying 15,000 rupees by yourself is very difficult, but 15 friends put together, that is 1,000 rupees per person, is less than your bill for Cyber Hub on a Friday evening. That you can do. So, जहाँ चाह वहाँ रहा, करना काफी आसान है, लेकिन डोंट गो फॉर चेंजिंग इंडिया. अगर आपने अपनी जिंदगी बदल दी, अपनी कॉलोनी, अपना कमरा, अपना घर, अपना ऑफिस, that is the big thing. And all of you, because you know marketing, you are great for every NGO. अगर आप अपना 2 या 4 घंटा किसी को दे देना, NGOs will figure out how to get their voice out in a great manner, and they will reach out to many more people. So you actually have a skill set. It's not a very useless skill set like accounting. अगर आप लोग सब लोग CA होते, मुझे भी नहीं पता था मैं क्या बोलूँ, आप कुछ सोच के बोल देता. लेकिन मार्केटिंग जिसको आती है, कम्युनिकेशन जिसको आता है, आप लोग पावरफुल हो इस दुनिया में. मतलब ये जो एक्टिविज्म की दुनिया है, they really need you.
Yeah, I think most of us are communication or technology in this space, right? So yeah, we can definitely. I mean, we were having some discussions around it, and I will definitely reach out to you offline on that, how we can contribute and collaborate, do something.
Yeah, totally. And don't think about it too much before getting started.
Yeah.
Start it, समझ में आ जाएगा. I mean, I'm a big fan of getting started and figuring it out.
Yeah.
क्योंकि मैंने आज तक जितना प्रिपेयर करके कुछ भी किया है ना लाइफ में, like right now I just did a pitch to one of the funders and I prepared a lot for it. अब उनके सवाल ही कुछ और थे, तो प्रिपरेशन की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं थी. मतलब it is quite ridiculous to prepare at times, especially when it comes to activism or doing something new, because nobody knows it. There is no professor out there who can tell you कि गुड़गांव में इस सेक्टर में इस रोड पे क्या होगा, कोई नहीं बता सकता. वो तो वहां पे जाके ही पता चलेगा. So getting started is the most important part. It's like fitness. जिम जाना या पार्क में जाना ही प्रॉब्लम है, वहां पहुंच के तो कुछ ना कुछ तो कर ही लेता है इंसान.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of us get stuck at पढ़ के करेंगे या कुछ भी, whatever, think and overthink and whatever, Yeah. Just before we end into a Q&A, since you brought up Start With Why, Simon Sinek's, I think there is, his another book, and you were talking in some, marathon concept. So I just want you to know, I mean, I don't know if you've read in The Infinite Game. I think that is a really good book. Yeah, right. So, I mean, these two principles, I think, come along together for at least, if you've read both of them, then you will know ki, हाँ यार क्यों कह रहा है. And then, if you start looking at it from a, infinite point of view, I mean, yeah, it's not a sprint that I'm running. काफी perspective change हो गया था मेरा तो.
Infinite Game actually has a very, very good story. Somebody working very closely with Yuvraj Singh, the cricketer who lives in Gurgaon as well. He gave me that book while I was getting started with my startup. He said it's very important that you read it so that you have a bigger vision. And the good part about these books now is that they are saying what I believe in. They just put it in a very nice and formatted manner.
Exactly.
तो उससे एक echo मिल जाती है और you get a verification कि नहीं हम भी ठीक जा रहे हैं, कि somebody called Simon Sinek is saying it, तो कुछ important तो होगा, bestseller है, global है, all that stuff. But no, I think it's very important.
Yeah. वही. I was also saying the same thing. मेरे लिए भी it was a lot of validation. अरे यार यही तो सोचते थे हम, but ऐसा कोई कहता नहीं था. Okay, there is some guy who's saying, and he's known for it. So good. So okay, so I have more things to talk about, but I think let's take a quick break. And I mean break in the sense, let's have some people. If you have any questions. Otherwise, I can keep talking to me forever. So, and we have just about 10 more minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's sort of went over a lot of things that he does, but I'm still not clear on what exactly do you do. So if you could maybe go over that one more time.
Certainly. So basically, I'm an activist. I use social media for social change. My journey started with a women's rights organization called Center for Social Research. We work for domestic violence survivors, rape survivors, raising awareness about equal pay for women. That is where I started off. And now my focus is on online safety for all users, but specifically for women and children. And I serve on the safety advisory board of all these large tech companies such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, Netflix, Amazon, Uber. So that is the space I am in right now, and my organization is called Social Media Matters, and the website is also socialmediamatters.in. Not very innovative. Plus, I have two startups. which are working. One of them is working on digital parenting, which is basically parents, children, and technology. So we kind of try to bridge all the information gaps and break all the myths. And the other one is called YOLO, which is basically a platform for youth leaders and students. So yeah, but your question is really good. Sometimes even I ask myself, what is exactly that I'm doing? So yeah, that's an ever-going question. But work-wise, these three are my main projects.
Okay. Okay. So when you say there's like digital safety for women and like online safety for women and like all of that stuff, in terms of like, is that how does that like play out? Is that workshops or like on a day-to-day, what happens on each of these projects? Like how does it reach to people?
So basically, there are different components of it. The first one is research, which is the most important one. So when technology is interacting with humans, what exactly is happening? We constantly need to keep on researching that. All these companies keep on releasing new safety tools. So researching, raising awareness that this exists, because online safety is a new thing. It wasn't taught in school. Our parents did not teach us. So we do a lot of awareness, which is through talks like these, or workshops, like you said, or even content creation, the small snippet video, curriculum creation. We are working together with Disney right now and a leading school in Delhi to create an online safety curriculum, a digital citizenship curriculum. So that aspect is there. Plus, also a lot of back-end analysis. So right now, all of the online safety in the world is pretty much dominated by artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence runs on data sets, which you need to constantly keep on updating. In a country like India with 16 major languages and about 16,000 variations of them, you constantly have to keep on updating the data set, that this is problematic, this is so that is a lot of work that we also do. So the work is spread out. It is done with different companies. There are different projects that we are doing at any given point. And we also run an online safety hotline where people can reach out to us via WhatsApp or our website and get information, genuine information about what they can do in case of a cyber crime or a cyber crisis, where Indian laws and the global companies don't really work together that well. So we always constantly try to keep people informed and help them out.
Okay, thanks. That really helps. Like that clears things out. Thanks.
Yeah, I think I should be more structured about my introduction, but it's just like we just got started and I was more fluid about I keep on telling Abhinav, like, what I've done in the past doesn't really matter. यार आज और future is what matters. लेकिन थोड़ा सा वो बनाना चाहिए शुरुआत में कि मैंने ये किया है. But I think post this talk, what would be really cool, firstly, watch that video so you know what sort of work we do, or at least that was done 10 years ago. But do visit socialmediamatters.in just to see what sort of work is going on. It's always cool to get feedback or just to get some awareness about things.
Okay, I think I'm already on the site, so I was just checking out and trying to understand stuff. So yeah, okay.
Super. And since all of you are marketing professionals, do give us tips, because we keep on learning. We are called Social Media Matters, so everybody thinks, okay, they are social media marketing geniuses. But actually, we work on online safety, so we are not even good at marketing. We are kind of okay at it. But getting inputs from all of you will be super helpful.
Sure, cool.
I think apart from you being fluid, you're also very humble, so you don't speak a lot about what you do. I think you just do. You don't bother about talking about it. I think you should do a little more. थोड़ा और fundraise हो जाएगा आसानी से.
I think somebody had a question.
Sorry.
Deepak. Hi. So you did mention that I think 1 or 2 times that these incidents happened and why became very clear, but sorry if I missed it, but I'm not sure if you put across what your why is. So if you could. do that?
Yeah, I think the why is making impact on a daily basis, being very clear about if I did this, which is also I was trying to do that when I worked for Intel. I worked on big presentation. It was fancy. I was young. We were in this 5-star hotel in Switzerland and doing all this stuff. But after a month of living there, doing this, I did not know what I did. Like, what did it lead to? It probably led to increase in sale 1% somewhere. But here in the field, it was a very small job. I think I was paid 7,500 rupees as an intern. Most of the money was paid by my parents so that I could live. But I actually helped a child get an admission in school. So if you ask me, what did you do today? I was clear about it. So the why was I need to know what am I working. I approach my life and my work like a laborer who knows what building he's making. Like I know if I'm building a hospital. You are a laborer even in big companies. You just don't know what building you're making because the CEO is so far away. There are so many layers between it. So the why became clear that okay, I want to do this and I want to make impact. And money was not a driver. It was more about using my skills to help others who were not fortunate enough to go to school, to have such parents, to go to Germany, all of that stuff. So that is kind of where I came from. That was my why. That okay, I need to know what I'm doing, and I want to use my skills to impact lives, change lives for the better. And then slowly it became clearer that if I use technology, the impact is far more. And also it's my skill set. So what I was telling, I think Abhinav earlier, is it is very, very important to be good at what you do as well professionally. At least for me, probably it's an ego feed or whatever. If I was really bad at doing what I was doing, I would probably not continue. So the success mattered for me. Like it was very important that if I went with somebody to the police station, we got that FIR registered. I really wanted that, and that was a win for me, which I never got in a salary paycheck. Somehow I never got it. Probably my salary wasn't high enough or whatever. But when I worked for a corporate sector, I never felt that. It was not there. Salary milti thi, ek achhe restaurant mein khana kha lete the, life was okay. But here the high was like, oh wow. It was every day, and it is still today. It is every day. It is clear. Like if you ask me, Acha, what are you doing after this? Okay, I'm creating a video which will raise awareness about this particular app for parents. Parents will watch it, and hopefully their children will use technology positively and not get used by it. So that clarity is there. There's not a big spreadsheet like income tax return or something. इसमें पता ही नहीं होता कर क्या रहे. So yeah.
Okay, cool. That helped.
I'm really bad at these MBA questions. I speak very fluidly, so I don't get to the point very quickly. Also, I'm from Banaras, so I'm genetically flawed. Like we talk too much or cut to the chase, ho hi nahi pata humse.
Okay. I mean, my experiences explaining why is like that. I've tried answering it for myself and also other people that I have asked this question. Yeah, it goes around because it is something I think if you have read Start with Why, it or if you are going to read it, it explains as to why it is difficult to put it into words. It will explain that. So yeah, that will probably, explain.
I think it's easier for products and services. So like for work, it is quite simple. My startup, I can give you in 2 words, like no problem. But for your own self, because you're half heart, half head, that is the problem.
Yes.
If it was only one side, it would be fine. But अपने बारे में बोलने के लिए, you have to go from here to here as well, right? So that's always a discovery, and most of the time we don't want to go inside. So funny thing, last night, I just turned 38, so it was my birthday just yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. So last night a friend asked me कि अच्छा अगले 2 साल के क्या प्लान है और काम के प्लान मैंने उसको ऐसे बता दिए. तो नहीं, पर्सनल क्या प्लान है? And that answer took like 5 minutes to come because that answer is very fluid and it's hazy. पर्सनल क्या प्लान है? ऐसा कोई प्लान नहीं है. लेकिन प्रोफेशनल प्लान्स तो वो क्या कहते हैं उसको OKY स्प्रेडशीट ना गूगल की. We have that detail. I have the day planned out as well. कि अब ये करते हैं तो ये होगा and stuff like that. So yeah.
Cool.
I think I have a question for all five of you. That what is your approach towards, I don't even know how to put it, social change or activism, or what do you think about it? Like कभी ऐसा लगा कि यार ये बदलना चाहिए, और अगर लगा तो कभी किया, और अगर नहीं किया तो क्यों नहीं किया? Let's start with the two who did not speak till now. Kuma and Simran.
There's so many of us are here. Okay, it's not just 5 of us. There are 20 of us here.
Sorry.
He's just looking at the first screen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking at the first screen. My bad.
Okay. So before, I mean, I'm okay. At the company level, I think we're having conversations where, what you're saying, right? What you do what you did for Intel or whoever it was, you don't see what is the impact, right? You don't know what this is going to do. Similar other questions have come up within the team, like, I can get all these leads for this company, so unka revenue बढ़ जाएगा, but usse kya hua? I can't see any impact that I'm creating. So that is a question that has been, being debated internally, and that's very interesting for us because we're coming up with specific plans to have, we will do this for social impact. We have to figure out exactly how it is, but we are kind of jumping into it and saying, okay, let's do this. Put some hours for that. Not, just saying, okay, we help somebody. So personally, yes, because we had similar such, people like you coming in and talking to us a couple of years ago. Personally, I've gone into, the commitment of 16 hours of my time should be given for something. And so that part is, I'm doing that and pursuing it in a little more fervor than I would have ever imagined myself to do. But I do have a question for you. It's very easy for, when you go into activism or you try to, get behind the cause, very easy to fall into the righteousness mode. No, I'm right about this. And, and that kind of spoils the whole bloody thing, right? I mean, how do you, where do you find that balance and, stick to the cause and, not be all righteous and, I'm only right and dig your heels in and, that kind of spoils the whole thing. How do you find the balance?
A lot of quotes are coming to my mind, and I think one of the latest ones was when Donald Trump won. There's a speech from Obama. It's a great speech. I'll find the link and share it with Abhinav. And he said that when it's all done and dusted, we need to remember we are one country, we are one team. So when it's all done and dusted, feminist or toxic masculine, you live on that same little planet, and you go ahead further, and the person starting off, they're literally like a child, like a novice, like when you started off, whatever you are an expert at right now. So you need to give them that much time to come to your level, right? And you need to know it. If you are good, if you say that you are a feminist, the first thing about activism or team building is inclusion. The second you create an exclusive club, you are lost. You will lose. It is things done by people to hold on to power for ages. You give me one example and I'll tell you, okay, this was the correlation. You have to become an inclusive club. How do you call the person from the other team if there is another team? There isn't one, but the other team to your team. A smoker to a non-smoker to a smoker, whatever it is. At the end of the day, you mean it well, but you mean it well for that person. They need to be in it with you, and it takes time. Everybody has their own journey. You don't learn on day one. Secondly, just because you, did something right doesn't make you a better person. You were in that situation, you were blessed, you were pushed, you had the network, the time, the money to do it. Many people say this, and I completely believe it. People are not good and bad. It's the situations that make them. So unless you can go in with empathy, just don't work on your own empathy, and that is the approach. You are trying to, because it's very safe to preach to the choir. It happens a lot of times, and I get very angry with activists because of that. Our conferences have the same 100 people. I've been on the same panel with the same people and the same audience for 20 years of my life, and now I don't do any panels. Zoom पे अलग बात है, new people come in. I just realized, my God, there are 20 people. So somebody has to join a client call. Please, Praveen, please join the client call. But you're not a better person because you're not doing evil. That's the way the world was supposed to be. And please involve people, bring them in. Otherwise, you will not win because we are the same team, and that's the way to approach it. And the more you do this job, the more you realize it. And it doesn't matter. You could be doing marketing in a company. You will only win if the team works together. That intern is important. वरना वो नहीं हो पाता. It's very difficult otherwise.
At what point did you know that there was no other team?
Quite late. After being Amitabh Bachchan for a very long time, I turned into Ami. It was a big slap on my face when I realized that just because I'm good at something, I don't have to be arrogant at it. Because I'm good at it, it is my job to make others better at it. And as it comes with age. What Abhinav said, I am a marvelous failure. My successes are known to people, but I'm a marvelous failure almost on a daily basis. And I'm quite proud of my failures because it was a great opportunity to learn. ये सब कुछ बड़ा bookish sound करता है, लेकिन once you start learning from your failures, which is very difficult because you have to let go of your ego. Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah. So there are two sorts of decisions in life. Number one is a right decision. Number two has your ego in it. And it was a tweet of Dalai Lama. It just came very recently, I think 2 years back or something like that. I realized it. Get your ego out of the game, and suddenly everything became better. Although we are not trained for it, especially men in this country coming from an upper Hindu caste, you are trained to be that egoistic, whatever. And it is also celebrated in the corporate culture globally. But for my own mental health, for my own inner peace, life is just a lot better being egoless when it comes to profession. Be egoistic about your dog and love them because they are your dog. But when it comes to a team and, humans, they are just working with you. You don't own them. I mean, just because you make more money or just because you came on the planet earlier doesn't make you better. And that's a fact. That's totally a fact. And I've had the opportunity to actually hang out with and be with people like Bill Gates, like Mark Zuckerberg, like Jack Dorsey. So it kind of gave me the humbleness to realize, okay, big people think in a certain manner. They are a little different. But I think egoless decisions are the best decisions in activism or in corporate life.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if anybody has any questions, but Ami, do you have like 5 minutes, or is it you have to just go right away? Just want to.
Sure. I just realized we were 20 people. I was just looking at the first screen. I was like, this is a nice conversation. But please drop in the questions or unmute and ask. Happy to answer. But I also don't want to eat into anybody's lunch break. It is 2:00, so please feel free to do that.
Okay. I was thinking of asking you about this Dalai Lama tweet, but thankfully that conversation happened.
We wrote down the structure, which is somewhere in some WhatsApp, which I should have looked at, but I did not. But it is okay to like this talk or it's okay to say that you are unstructured and just you get people in your team who are structured. Yeah. So I thankfully have a good team who are very structured people. So that kind of keeps me, in place all the time. And as we were talking about earlier, that when I built my team, I also built it with people who were not like me. ताकि हम अलग-अलग काम कर सकें. And I gave them their domain and I made sure that they lead it. And that has also really helped over a period of time. So that tribe and that team thing is very, very important. And I'm a big advocate of it.
Nice. Yeah. वो तो है. With the same skills, obviously we don't grow. We all get stuck in the same thing. And very interesting stuff you're doing with, especially with the parenting thing I knew, but, being on the board of Google's and Netflix's, I didn't know about that. So that is very interesting. I knew you were doing something with Netflix and all, but yeah, that's very,
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly behind the scenes work, right? It is not like
Hmm.
you don't get to meet Shah Rukh Khan or something like that. None of the limelight is on you. It is the work which comes up when things go wrong, and that is the work we do. And you know, they are criticized a lot. All the big tech companies are criticized a lot, and they do lack a lot. But
Yeah.
I still believe in conversation. I still believe in working together with people. So I'm a strategic activist. I'm not the loud jantar mantar tod do phod do wala. I'm not that. I'm this person who will write a report, who will do a workshop, who will do an awareness campaign, but move ahead 0.1% rather than asking for 100% change. So that is how I progress. And the companies do have a little bit of commitment towards these topics as well, and they do change and do the work that we ask them to do over a period of time.
Hmm. Okay. And that reminds me, actually, that reminds me of the other thing we were talking about, right? That bringing in not just social impact, bringing in changes in the, working with the government or the so-called, the system. I think you brought changes over there as well, especially with the one I remember, getting a flyover built just by writing letters. A lot
Yeah,
of us
I mean,
do it. So I want you to, just share a little on that.
yeah. So when Abhinav and I were talking, we spoke about it, and I think what is great in India in 2021 is that the systems are there, and if you know the strategy, you can make them work. And people like us who have access to internet, Twitter, we can actually Google and find out the address of the office. With some very basic tools and very little time spent, we can bring about a lot of change. And I don't know, you guys live in Gurgaon, so do you know these fancy malls in Vasant Kunj? Has anybody ever visited them by any chance? Or seen them?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the fancy Rolex and Prada and I don't know all the things I can't afford are sold over there. So right across that, that's the Nelson Mandela Mark. Right across that is JNU. That is where I grew up. And long time back, there was a flyway inaugurated, and we were all there by chance. We saw it, and we were happy that chalo, now we don't have to fight for our lives to get into the malls because that road is really fast. But over 5 years, it was never constructed. And then life went on, and I came back, and I saw that they put this first stone with the name of the mantri and the santri and all that stuff. And I kind of took a picture of it and made a video. It is somewhere there. There used to be this thing called citizen journalism by Star News or something. So I did one of those citizen journalism things, sent it to them. Their crew came, and they were like, and the reporter told me, she was a young girl, and she said, "आपको पता है ना इससे कुछ नहीं होगा, आपको एक चिट्ठी लिखनी पड़ेगी." And then I realized चिट्ठी email के ज़माने में she said नहीं नहीं आप चिट्ठी लिखो speed post से. So basically I did a lot of research. I found out which department makes it, under which officer it has been allocated, and which minister is looking after it today. And I wrote a letter, one letter, and CC'd it to about 20 people, starting from the president of the country to the SHO of Vasant Vihar, and sent it via speed post. Nothing happened for about 1.5, 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks, suddenly the system came alive. I was getting calls. I was also invited to their office. They showed me a file. कि सर यहाँ पे फंसा हुआ है, budget में ये वो हुआ है. And I mean, I was just 24, and all these senior people were talking to me, and it was just insane for me. कि ये कैसे हो गया? But the fact that a letter can really change, the system is there to work if you hold it accountable. And now there are more tools with PILs, with Twitter, with letters. It makes a big difference. And I think I also wrote in the first line, "I am a voter of South Delhi" or something like that. I wrote, and it really made an impact with the local MLA and MP. And the fact that it was CC'd to so many people, they kind of thought that, okay, we really need to pull up our socks. And it took another 2 years after this letter, but the flyway is there, and I'm very proud of it every time I see it. अब दिल्ली छूट गया है, लेकिन वो flyway अभी भी वहाँ पर है, and it's pretty cool.
No, yeah, that really matters. What you've got done. I mean, most of us think कि ये तो somebody else will do it. It's somebody else's job. या यहाँ ये लिखने से nothing happens. But you actually went ahead, did it, and followed it through to get it done. I mean, that is the bigger thing there.
मैं जिद्दी भी बहुत हूँ. मतलब कुछ मान लेता हूँ तो फिर मतलब even in impractical things, I'm very, very stubborn about stuff. Like it takes a lot for me to give up. So this was still like, "Arey, I'm a voter. Like, मेरी बात कैसे नहीं सुनेंगे?" It was more of that naive, straightforward approach towards it.
Whatever approach, it works, right? So I think something we all need to take note of. I mean, I don't think any of us has written. Probably Suma has written once, I remember, but most of us have never written. I wrote an email once. I think I was also trying to file a FIR and nobody was responding to it. And then, I tweeted it. And interestingly, somebody retweeted and then Kiran Bedi, replied to me on that tweet, here is the email of the SHO. Here you can write to him. And I wrote an email to him and then immediately I'm getting calls from the police station. Sir, aap kisko jante ho? So,
Exactly. So making the system work now with these digital tools, and you guys know the impact of campaigns and all. The great part about Twitter, for example, is that everybody sees it. And if the opposition leader retweets it, then 20, 30,000 people see it to whom it matters.
yeah.
In Gurgaon, it is constant, like electricity, water. Airtel is the best example. You don't need to go to the showroom anymore. You tweet to them, they will call you in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The customer care or the citizen care is coming through these digital tools.
Yes. Yeah. Really thankful for all of that, actually. Yes. I mean, recently also, last week only I got another, customer query resolved because of Airtel social media. Well, I was calling them, emailing them, it didn't work, but social media pe ek tweet kar diya and it got resolved. So,
Yeah, because see, the bosses up there want the work done. It actually is good for the commissioner if the crime is low. It's the people in the middle who are paid too less and not motivated enough. So the second people find out, everything starts working.
Yeah. Yes. We just have to keep at it. Good. I don't want to take any of your more time here. I already said, I will take only 45 minutes. I think I've almost taken 75 minutes. So sorry about that. But thank you so much for joining, Amit. Thank you so much for, sharing your thoughts with the team. I am definitely inspired. I'm sure a lot of them are. And there are already conversations I am seeing because some people are already sending me Slack messages. So about this. So definitely there is going to be some impact there. And I will keep you posted about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're on the right track. The organizations you told me about are amazing organizations, and I'm sure that we'll collaborate. And thank you. Thanks for making time on a busy day and in your lunch hour. So please enjoy your meal, and it was great chatting with you. And there were so many of you. And about 90% of the thought I thought hum khali 5 log hain. So thank you for your time, and thanks Abhi. This was a great conversation. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Ami. All right. Take care then. Bye.